Took a shower. So, yeah, I'm still supposed to walk up the thing and get water. I don't think I need anything else right now but water, so I probably should get two of them because I have plenty of soda and then I don't have to worry about water for like 2 days. Got plenty of coffee, bought a crap load of coffee and coffee creamers. Um, Bought figs. Got. I still had plenty of peanuts. I can burn through those when I'm eating them every day, though. Got more eggs. I got enough food for my stuff tonight. I need to soak some beans so I can cook them tomorrow because they're dried. I haven't been eating beans. Been eating a lot of potatoes. Um, I like those purple yam things. Was eating those sweet potatoes. I think I have more sweet potatoes, so I guess I don't need beans yet. I was gonna itch, so that was good. Took a nice hot shower because pew, I don't wear deodorant. Yeah, it usually only matters when I'm not doing my typical thing where I wash up every day, and when I'm not following my strict diet. That's what causes your body to odor. It's because of toxins and stuff that you're taking in. All you have to do is wash your armpits, usually just once a day. You don't need deodorant. And an interesting thing, I noted this about Brian Buchanan. Yeah, like he's on the deodorant, but he refuses to bathe. Yeah, you just go, okay, yeah, that's what happens. Powders, deodorant, sprays, like they're so concerned about body odor. I would assume they smell bad. I've never smelt anything on him. I've never his armpits. He doesn't don't even smell, or his breath. Yeah, I don't plan to ever see him again. But yeah, you could go cut to 2 months from now, and you go, whoa, I never noticed like the stink on you. Yeah, stuff like that. So, other than 2023, this is the first time this has happened. Yeah. He was gone for a while in November and December, but he was outside doing whacked out stuff, and people would beat him up, and they were telling me what he was doing. Yeah, because I was at the shelter. So this is the first time that he's gone into a facility like that and not contacted me. Every day at Gavin, I would. This came up in the walk too. Like, are you trying to tell us that on Christmas Day that place didn't allow people to have visitors on Christmas? I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I believe that. But anyway, and then just the proceed with the profound insanity that I'm sure this dude just goes, all these people are so dumb and insane. But he doesn't care, right? He doesn't care that you're dumb and insane, and then he'll just manipulate you to get what he wants, right? You just go, yeah, I'm separated from her and suck my dick. Can I have some more Ativan? Yeah, that's his real personality. Just telling you. 2.5 years, 5 months straight with the person. That's the person's real personality, not a nice person. So, he would have told you anything. What time is it? Almost 4. Get the Christmas shows. Yeah, I'm gonna check the news in a second. Just kind of like still relaxing from my walk. I just went after I smoked the cigarette. I was like, yeah, even that green thing smells now. And yeah, I guess I'll wear it on my walk. Other than that, I'm probably not gonna wear it, but I do have to go up the thing. I'll have to wear something else under the coat. The coat probably smells at this point too. Yep. If you're not used to living with an athlete. I can find that out if they send people to CSS from a psych ward of a person who just had 5 months sobriety. Why would you need CSS? Maybe they'll send them right to a halfway house. Typically, they get rewarded by their other members. So, yeah, I told you. They're saying some person donated $550,000 to a senior center. It's already open. They have more than one. They have more than one. Like, yeah, just I see the stuff in the flyer and you just go, I have to just not pay attention to it. They all deserve, they all deserve all that stuff. You know, they work. Let's see. What am I supposed to be looking up? Can I go to CSS from a psych ward? I don't think that's her, but I just saw something walking. There's only so many people that come in that door. Well, if they, I know they do detoxes at the psych ward, so it's possible that they do go to CSS from there. I would say that's probably all he needed to be told to never have any contact with me again. Yeah, is that he's gonna go into some program and then get housing, just like Gavin. You call every day because I'm bringing you cigarettes. I would find it interesting if any of these places are gonna help him get a divorce without them ever actually speaking with me. How how deep the criminal insanity goes. Yeah. Like I said, from what I'm getting from this, which is different than 2023, by the way. In 2023, I think that God was explaining that you don't see Him, you're not listening to God, you're not experiencing God, and that your brains are gone. That's what that your brains are dying. That's why you thought someone named Brian died. Okay, and I also went over July 30th at Ongla. Okay, Naughty was on a 30 day. So stuff like that. I so far what I'm getting this time is it's sort of explaining your damnation because you keep rejecting me and rejecting God, and then you're tearing everybody away from me and away from God into your monkey hell. And you won't stop doing it, even when there's laws set up to protect people from you. You won't stop doing it. So, so far, that's what I'm getting is going on in terms of the grand scheme of what to interpret about it, like for other people to interpret about it. Like, would people, why would they do behaviors that criminal and insane, and why is God allowing it? like I said, like anything, it takes a long time. Like, how many years did it take for them to say what they're saying about the hepatitis B vaccine, which still isn't the total truth? How long has that taken to begin talking about the nuclear material and the cancers and stuff? Because they didn't believe in him. They didn't believe that God could actually contain the population, and that you have a lot of Christians here that are aware the world is messed up and it's the end time. So a lot of them expected a war between Russia and China. You never heard this stuff? The king of the north and the king of the south. They expected a war and that it would be a nuclear war and all this stuff. They expected it. Okay, so when you don't want to stop what you're doing and you're in a denial of yourself, and you still think you're going to save your species, right? Eventually, in my opinion, all this stuff will go away, right? How they're going to deal with people keeping these workers going that are going to be basically like a personal care assistant. That's all that's going to happen with all of these people. Okay, you're either going to be working in a grocery store keeping a food supply going, even if it's just stocking shelves, or you're going to be helping caring for all these mentally ill and physically disabled and elderly people until they die. That's all you're going to be doing. There's not going to be doctors, nurses, case managers, none of that. You're not going to have detox centers. Okay, all that's going to end. But you're not going to have psych wards. You're not going to have detox centers. You're not going to have CSS. You're not going to have TSS. You're not going to have any of that. Okay, right. Some of these buildings can be transformed into dorm-like structures where you're just caring for people that are dying. That's it. Like, just enough of the nonsense we're pouring money into. You'll still get paid, you'll still have housing, but that's all you're gonna be doing. Enough of everybody is, some sort of medical professional and stuff. It doesn't really help, in terms of, not actually providing the care that's needed. Most of it is paperwork shuffling around these caseworkers, and nothing gets done, right? Just all lots of, like, interviews. Every referral is an interview with the person with the same questions, and nothing ever happens. Okay. It's called CHAMP. Once a person's on CHAMP, that's it. Most people can fill it out themselves. It's like a social security application when they prevent you from doing it online, because then a person gets paid to help you fill out something that you can do yourself. It was really getting bad. It's sick. It's sickening. It's really sickening. Okay, no, that's not what's needed. Definitely not what's needed. Part of the problem is when you refuse to sort of, I can understand in a sense why it's not happening because people are too mentally ill. But you prevented me from going to school for 3 semesters where I could actually do my job and no one would think it was weird. And then we could explain to mentally ill people why they're not me. Okay, like right, you just go, it can't even go in a way that it would have actually been beneficial to people. Quite sad, okay? Because it's sort of like you refuse to acknowledge me and who I am, or that anything I'm telling you is sane and true, and then you go out and you try to be me, and then you're saying you're medical professionals. It's very scary. Okay. And then even if I were to meet you or talk to you, you'd act like you didn't know who I was. It's very scary, right? So, in terms of psychiatric care, if you can find psychiatrists anymore that are board certified, Okay, apparently, there's even an issue having board certified nurse practitioners, which I didn't know that was going on. Okay, so right, some people are doing what they can do. They're certainly not gonna suggest they do a laparoscopy on you, okay, because they know that they can't do that. Right, so um, you got to stick to the board certified psychiatrist. Yeah. It's just because we've already been having a problem with people that are mentally ill. I see them at libraries, Smith Center. Okay. It has to do with sort of like thinking that they're like mimicking me and everybody could be me and stuff when they're not. I'm not acting as a psychologist or a social worker or a case manager or a psychiatrist. Um, like, I'm not even allowed because you're so ill with denial. This is God's explaining it to me now. You're so ill with denial that you'll play all over a television that the Pope quit 600 years, Joan of Arc, January 6th insurrection, Pope Saint France is Leo the MGM lying like I'm the Pope, I'm the highest priest, okay? But you won't allow me to give counsel to people as a priest would. I'm not writing them prescriptions. I don't think I'm really exactly diagnosing them, but in terms of psychotherapy and helping them know what's real and unreal. So it's very sort of terrible how that makes sense in your head to be doing that. I don't know if the people with the news stories are the same people shutting me off, and that's possible. Um, what is the purpose of doing that in your mind? Are you still thinking they're saving your people there? That would be very sad if you thought that. Helping them remain calm, stop denying them, knowing what's going on and what the truth is. Um, right. Allowing them to spend time with their families and stuff like that. Oh, that's right. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, I guess I haven't found anything that actually states it yet, but it seems that since they do detox there, they probably can send people to those places from there. And then, sort of like 2023, you're not going to hear from a psychopath for a while, right? I assume they don't let them use phones in there. I've never been with him when he goes to CSS and TSS. He could never get into one, right? Which, in my opinion, is appropriate, but they're going to do what they're going to do, right? So it reinforces to people as long as they turn away me and they turn away from God that you will help them in the world as you refuse to get rid of the world system. So it's like a complete damnation, in my opinion, that God is explaining. It's not actually a program of recovery. It's a program of collecting sick members and keeping them sick. Um, that's what you're doing, right? So, anyways, They're damned anyway. Right, right. Just go. She says we're all damned anyway because we're working and we're not human beings. Okay, bye. The war on drugs was dying. Then came the gunboats. I don't believe there's an actual war on drugs. I think that insane animals are using drugs to wage war. And it's basically dominating other members through drugs and alcohol. Chernobyl productive shield can no longer continue. Oh, can no longer confine radiation after drone strike. Okay. Chernobyl protective shield can no longer confine radiation after drone strike. Okay. I would assume that you're right. You've got people that you deem to be human beings that have cancer now. Okay, well, I stated that. The long-term immunity. I'm not sure anyone's impervious to ionizing radiation and free electrons. Okay, so what's going to happen is eventually the land piece will be cleared and no one will be producing free electrons. That's one of the things. No one will be producing free electrons. That's what bombards you, destroys your DNA, gives you cancer. For the most part, ionizing radiation is not healthy in that level of a dose, right? But it's lowering your immune system as you're being bombarded with free electrons. Okay, and it also damages the brain. I was just look up radiation. So, because of the free electrons, that level of radiation won't have to be that high for a significant amount of time because of the free electrons. So, hopefully that makes sense. There's no way to stop. There's no safe zone on North America. Okay, there's no way to stop it because of what you've done here. Okay, no safe zone could be set up because you refuse to house me and give me a means to live. Okay, so in a physical structure, I don't talk in a code. Okay, so if you think I'm doing that, I'm not. It's part of it happens. It's part of disassociation. I mean what I say. I'm not talking in a code. I'm talking about physical housing. I'm not talking about put me in a womb and then the free electrons. And that's not what I'm saying. And obviously, you don't walk anywhere and it's cold. So you have to have heating oil, cars and trucks, motorcycles, leaf blowers. Okay? It doesn't matter, but right, the entire plan that was set up clearly would have worked. But it's far too late now. Okay, like I told you, you're not going to do it now, so don't try. Okay. Um, people are far too sick now. It would have worked when I presented it to you. Now they're far too sick because you wouldn't stop and listen in 2011 about what just happened with the nuclear and the tsunami. You wouldn't listen. So now they're far too sick. That's why it will work now. Not you were right. So you wouldn't have malls, you wouldn't have schools. None of those structures would be burning heating oil as they are now. All of these youths that are getting bowel cancer and dying would be walking, and they'd be bringing you things. It's been 15 years, folks. Don't forget. Also, some people probably bred on purpose to get into housing. That's just a simple fact of life. Someone said there was a dip in the birth rate, and then it started climbing again because you didn't do what you were told to do. Let's see. It doesn't matter if you believe that the government tricked you. You're supposed to trust God Almighty, not the government. Traffickers in the Caribbean. I'm disgusted with the whole Wicked thing. I'm really disgusted. First of all, I didn't know it was a story about lesbians. I was told that when I got here. I would have never suggested that had I known it. For children, children don't have a sexuality. I didn't know it was a story about lesbians. Yeah, that's pretty disgusting. Yeah, and just I don't care for that person, and they look very ill. Yeah, it's highly disturbing when things that I do online that these animals become more famous and more rich from. It's really depraved and disgusting. I kept playing the song, One Short Day. Get it? It has to do with radiation, short wave and long wave, short wave and long wave radiation. Okay. In the Emerald City, like you're all in Oz, Ozville. And now some disgusting anorexic that I just don't like, and then whatever that other thing is. I don't know what that is. Yeah, you just go, some of these people are just hella sick. It's difficult to look at. So now they're super famous and they're doing this and that, and they're still on a fucking TV, and I'm still homeless. Oh yeah, what's this? Is it a NASCAR player? It's not on CNN, of course, and that should be sort of news. I think it's NASCAR. Some 39-year-old died. So let's see if it's cancer or not. Is it not NASCAR? It doesn't even come up when you just do NASCAR. He's a former NASCAR, dies at 39. I think that's news, is it not? Okay. Right, you just go, I know, just, it's not even news anymore. 39-year-old just dies. Okay. No cause of death was announced. Right, you go, it's a car accident, a suicide, or cancer. What else would a 39-year-old die of? Occasionally, you're going to get a 39-year-old with cardiac arrest, but believe it or not. If you die from a drug overdose, you committed suicide, in my opinion, whether you meant to or not. Right? You might have not have been sad before it, people like Brian Buchanan, but you still committed suicide. You killed yourself. Right? You don't have to intend to kill yourself to commit suicide. It's called accidental suicide, accidental overdose. It's still you killing yourself. Let's see. It's a matter of opinion whether I'm highly opinionated or not. Check this out. I could not get that Itsy Bitsy Spider song out of my head when I got back from my walk. I'm not sure what that is. It was probably on the television in a commercial or something. Just it just kept going and going and going. The itsy bitsy spider crawls up the water spout. Is it some kind of cancer? Wash the spider out. Out comes the sun and dries up all the rain. And the itsy bitsy spider crawls up the spout again. Apparently, it was snowing in New Hampshire. I saw that on the TV this morning. Evidence from dumpsters again. Okay. Police investigate the South Boston Theater District. Okay. I don't know exactly what that means. Is that Broadway? I know. Make a disgusting pit sound like it's upscale. Is it? Let me see. You don't want to go. Well, unless you're getting off, right, and you're walking right up in the daytime, because you're not doing it now. It's winter, so don't even go. Don't even get off the train at Broadway. Trust me, nothing there. There's nothing at Broadway you want. Nothing at Broadway you want. Okay, maybe in the summer you get off there, you take a right, you walk up Broadway where the St. Patrick's Day parade is, to Castle Island, walk around, come back, maybe stay at the beach a little bit and come back. That's it. Get back on the thing, out. Yeah, trust me, there's nothing at Broadway you want if you're not familiar with Boston. There's nothing at JFK you want either. Don't get off at JFK. Don't get off at JFK. Don't get off at Broadway. Don't get off at Andrew. Yeah, you can tell from the tone of my voice. Don't get off at those 3 stops. Okay. Quincy Center, you can get off at Quincy Center. Yeah. Clearly, I told you some of the gross people filtered in there. It sounds like maybe they're filtering back out because Brian was filtered back out to Boston. He's now hanging out with some dude from Brighton. He's getting pulled more and more away from there. Right. So God has his ways. Police investigate yourself. I wouldn't recognize stuff. No. Tremont and Stewart Street. No clue. Yeah, I don't know that stuff to that degree. Yeah, like you'll notice on Broadway that it's letters, and then apparently this D Street place is. Brian said you get off there to go to that Pine Street Inn. I didn't know that. I didn't know you got off at Broadway to go there. Yeah, I think there's different ways you can go there. We go. I thought it was in Dorchester. I've never been there. I don't intend to go there. Yeah, I'm trying to avoid shelters for a reason because it's filled with people just like Brian, and they prey upon other homeless people that don't have anywhere else to go. Right. So yeah, just they can't do it at the warming center. No. They can try at the line, and at the line, the Cambridge police are there pretty much the entire time. Even though the Cambridge police have failed me on several accounts when it comes to Brian, okay, like notifying me of things and explaining to me what happened with the hammer and where exactly he was and who was there would have been nice. Things were purposely kept from me, which I don't like. So even though the Cambridge police on a couple of things have failed me, they are at the warming center. Okay, so there's no socialization at the warming center. It's actually safer than a shelter, even though you have to stand outside like that, which is not good. Okay, there's no socialization allowed. That's why it's good. Okay, that's why I said if you want to socialize, go to a shelter. Street homeless people don't want to socialize. They live on the street for a reason. Right. Just go to a shelter. If you're looking for drugs, you've got drugs to sell. You're a whore. You're a prostitute because one of those showed up, and of course she was talking to people. I noticed her looking at us. Of course, yeah. They're called prostitutes. For some reason, that came up today. So I think it was. It may actually be the case because remember in 2023, it all depends on God. I don't know what my thoughts are going to be in a month. I'm going to be on 2 vacations and away from here. I don't know what my thoughts are going to be in a month, 2 months from now. Okay. But if God deems that I need to know something, or just because I want to know something, I will find out. It might take time, but I will find out. Just like in 2023. Even though there was a period of time of emotional suffering, God still made sure that I knew what actually happened. Okay? God does it. Whereas you people would leave me like that in emotional torment forever. You're so depraved. Sort of like this, but I'm not emotionally tormented by it now. Like, I mean, in 2023, it was bad. That's a terrible, awful thing to do to a person. Just, he states his aunt saw me online. Okay, you just go, how can people be that sick? Anyways, they are. So, in terms of April, exactly what happened. Okay. Brian claims, if people are just watching this now, Brian claims that Mike, the one who rides the bike from Wollaston Beach, who has the spiky hair, that doesn't want to smoke crack, so he takes Adderall from Brian. And he's asking where Brian is, and I say, stop talking to him, and then Brian won't stop contacting him. Okay, that Mike. Okay. Brian claims that he was. I'm not sure if he said that Mike brought this guy around, some black guy that apparently was in prison once, and him and they're all hanging out together, right? And then Brian's version of the story is that he's gotten an argument or something with this guy, okay, and that he called me on the phone so I can hear that there's someone yelling, and he's yelling back at them. Okay, I'm just telling you. He tells me that he's screaming at the person that he's calling the police, and I go, make sure you call the police. He goes, I'm going to call them right now. He probably never called the police, right? He probably never called the police, right? Okay, that's what he did to me, and I can hear that there's a person yelling back at him, right? It's been a while, and it's been since April. I'm pretty or May. It might have been the end of April, beginning of May, right? Because he flipped out within days of the warming center closing. Remember? Okay. Then he reported to me he actually got in a fight with someone at the warming center. I was outside for 3 nights. Then my sister Cindy, out of concern because I am not supposed to be sitting up like that, I started getting swollen because of my medical condition. It's not a made up thing. Okay. She let me go to her house, and I had to have been at her house for at least several days, so it may have been like the first it may have been like the 2nd week of May, not actually April. So if you're forgetting, right, he flipped out at me at Porter at the end of April because it was days before the warming center was going to close and we were supposed to go camping for a week. And my sister added days that she ended up canceling to try to help us have a place to go. That's how just disgusting this dude is. I do actually have a family. He doesn't. They don't help him go to camp. They didn't help us. They didn't show up at a wedding. They didn't. I've never met his mother or his brother or spoken to them. I spoke with his aunt Denise like once on the phone. Okay. Um, they didn't come to the wedding. It's been 2.5 years. They've never made any attempt to meet me. They don't know anybody in my family. They have no contact with Brian. Right. That's why it was so terrible when I keep going to go UMass. Mass General called them and I was legally they broke the law. And I just found out like within the week. I didn't know that when a person is unconscious like that, his spouse is the healthcare proxy, whether he signs it or not. That's Massachusetts law. They made up a whole thing, that's why they didn't call me, and that's why they called people he has no contact with. They completely broke the law, and you know those people, had he actually died or became so incapacitated that he got money and stuff, they would never tell me even though we're legally married, they're that sick, you know that, right? Okay. People are that sick. I met a woman who was working at Dollar Tree that told me it happened to her. Same thing. They were estranged, but they still talked. So she knew something was wrong when she didn't hear from him. And then he died, and his family tried to hide it from her and find out if he had any money in his estate, bury him, all of it, when they were legally married. Okay, so yeah, people are just morally depraved. Because why would you do something like that? Remember, what was it, moral tupery that I pointed out is in your law? I would think that's considered that. I would think that's considered that. When you purposely hide a dead body or a mentally incapacitated person, like it's Spalding or Mass General, you hide that from the person's spouse. I think that you're completely morally depraved. Like, why would you even do that? It's sickening. Okay, so anyways, in terms of April, those people might be able to fill in some of the blanks about what happened when he took off from Porter. Okay. And then apparently, because he may not have even went back to the warming center. Some people, when they hear what me telling them what Brian said he did, they might just go. Maybe at first they thought that I was mentally ill or making up things because they didn't understand the lies that Brian was telling. Like, they think I'm just talking in my head like I know everything. It's based on what Brian told me and what I actually observed, just as an FYI. They're not MMs in my head. Nope. Okay. So someone might be able to fill in the blanks on that. One odd thing that happened, and for some reason, something made me go, things that make you go, hmm. We ended up at Wollaston train station at some point for some reason. This was a while ago. And a different Mike that I actually know from the shelter, who's confined to a wheelchair, was there, and he was screaming into his phone. And for some reason, I half went, did he actually call me from Wollaston train station and say that someone was yelling at him because that guy was yelling, yelling, yelling into his phone? And make up the whole story so that I would talk to him again? Has he ever done anything like that? See, that's why the fact that quote unquote you people have never contacted me in 2.5 years, I think you should just stay the fuck away from Brian because you seem insane, right? Like you can't possibly want him to get well, and like you don't seem even concerned about how dangerous it could be for you. Keep keep contacting them. Keep coming to hospitals when you're called and stuff. That's just completely fucking insane. How have you never contacted me to tell me stuff that he's done to you to help me protect my fucking self? Exactly. So at this point, it is sort of just anger. It is anger. Why didn't you tell me that this man was a psychopath? Right? There's got to be a reason that you don't move him into your housing. Even after the brain injury, you didn't do it. Okay, so you want nothing to do with him, but yet you show up at fucking hospitals and don't tell me where he is. Okay, so anyways, the other people around him, like why Tom is so angry. It had to be a coincidence when we were at Quincy Center train station that both Tom and that Mike guy were there. The one with the spiky hair. That had to be. Are you people hanging out now? Are you friends? So that mean if that's the case, that means that Tom guy's getting involved in more hardcore drugs than marijuana vapes. That guy smokes crack and he takes Adderall. Okay, so yeah, are you friends or Mike was like, "What the fuck's going on?" Too. I don't think he said anything. Maybe he doesn't know Tom, and he was like, "Why is this guy screaming at him like that?" I didn't know why he was doing it either. I guess I figured that Brian asked him for money or something, and he just realized that's all Brian's talking to him for. You just realized that? Okay, we get it, but why are you so angry? Right. It's gotta be because his wife won't take him back, that guy. He keeps saying that his wife and him have been talking about getting a divorce for, like, a decade, and she won't take him back. So, I mean, there's gotta be something else going on in that guy's psychology. You go, "Why are you so angry?" Yeah, he goes, "How's the divorce going?" And then he goes, "Do you want some money?" But this was the interesting thing. At first, Brian went to go, "Oh, hey," and I go, "Oh, no, 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 no." But Brian didn't fight me on it in any way, shape, or form. And maybe that's why the guy got mad. I went, "Oh, no, no, no." And then Brian was like, not talking to him. And then the guy just flipped out. Yeah. So that's like a demon right there. Uh, 5 months I had this guy sober. 5 months, not even on Adderall. I don't think he's ever been sober like that in his life. So anyway, like, the brain injury thing worked for a while, and then already it was I'm gonna eventually smoke pot again. And as you see, I don't believe he only just drank alcohol, but I mean, why are you drinking alcohol after 5 months and you just had your head smashed in? So you don't care about your brain. My sister goes, well, I guess his brain healed. I guess so. He's back to being nasty and everything. So, oh yeah. So, anyways, April. Is it possible that he made it up and it was the Mike guy in the wheelchair? Only Mike with the spiky hair knows that April, beginning of May. Okay, because the story doesn't add up to me. It sounds like it could be that because then after Brian told me he was hanging out with the homosexual again. That's all he ever tells you. That's all he ever tells you. Like it's definitely a sickness in his head. Yeah, where it's just constant bombardment of you're not good enough. You're not good enough. He secretly is gay. He secretly wants to be with Raggedy. He's secretly fucking Colleen and all this stuff. It's like some wicked bad sickness and it's in its head. Yeah, that is like a deranged psychopath. It's just not possible on earth that a person is running and no homosexual man is hanging out with that dude. Right, you just go unless it's a homosexual dude that's a crackhead and doesn't have any interest in Brian for sex, he just wants to get high. Right, you just go, that is enough because you're offensive to homosexuals with this shit. Dudes, you're offensive to homosexuals with this shit. Anyways, When we got to the campground after he met me at Mansfield train station from the other sister's house, she knows not to have that in her house, and that's not your business why. Okay, she knows not to have that in her house. She took it to Plymouth and let it stay at Plymouth with me, but it's not living in her house. Just like Tom Kent said, that's not coming into this house. That is not coming in this house because he knew what it was too. He was a drug addict, so he knew. Also, when someone takes off like that, that's not a fucking boyfriend, and my brother knew it. Okay, so anyways, um, when we get to the campground, in a calm voice, I say, "So when you were hanging out with that guy, did you have fun? Did you have fun hanging out with him?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I go, "Do you think it's possible that you're homosexual?" And he goes, "Well, that's offensive." That's offensive? I don't think that's offensive, but you think it is. I would have thought that after that, he would have stopped the insanity with the dudes. Right. I would have thought he would have stopped the insanity with the dudes after that. Well, what is it? Are you queer or what? I mean, how many times are you going to tell me that every dude that you think I don't know is queer? How many times are you going to tell me that? Right. I don't even believe Sean from the shelter is gay. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Someone might go, no, he said he is or something. He doesn't seem homosexual to me. Right. I don't know if he's just manic or he gets high and has that look and talks to everybody like that. I tried to explain it to Brian. I've met homosexual men. They don't look at me and talk to me like that. Okay. So, like, I don't know if these people are high and they're manic and Brian thinks they want his dick. Okay. Like, just like, anyways. Who knows? That dude might not even be homosexual that he said he was hanging out with in May. But that would cause your friends, if true, to go, dude, what the fuck are you doing? On several accounts, Brian, if that's what you were doing. Why are you smoking crack? Why are you with a dude holding hands and kissing and looking in the eyes? Where the fuck is your wife? That would might cause a crackhead to get the fuck away from you because he goes, "What?" And not you got in a fight about you were in jail and you're gonna fight about, blah blah blah. So eventually I'll find out. No, I didn't say either one of those things. It's fine. Um, Sean did not tell people he's gay. Brian told me that Sean is gay. That's what Brian told me, and I don't believe that he is. Okay. At least in the context that Brian is talking about. Okay. Because he's getting drunk and high with people, and then he thinks that men are coming on to him when I don't believe they are. Because I know that person personally from the shelter. I actually met him before I met Brian. I remember it vividly as God's reminding me because we were in, it was the old building and we could put the mats down to sleep. And he did not have anything to sleep with, and I gave him a blanket to sleep with. I remember it specifically. I never had any problems with that guy at all. He probably thought I was nice because I gave him a blanket and I didn't have to do that. Um, most people treat me with respect. Most people are not Brian Buchanan or the friends of Brian Buchanan and all these people from Boston and shit, and these Cambridge monkeys, by the way. So anyway, it was later on that Brian showed up at the stoop at the shelter to get in, and he had been out apparently drinking with Sean. And then all of a sudden he's telling me that Sean is gay and hitting on him. Like, it's part of Brian's mental disorder where he thinks everybody, it's part of grandiosity, where he thinks everybody wants him and wants his dick. Because he's high and he's hanging out with people that are high. And he's a sex offender. Like, he thought that he was supposed to rape a man's wife. He thought a man going out the door to buy cigarettes is the signal to go rape his wife. That he told me that. No, I didn't say he was holding hands and kissing the man. I'm putting that out there as a possibility that eventually I will find out what the truth is if I care anymore. Right? That is what I said. Okay, see? No. Okay. So the person writes, if Brian thinks that way, he must be projecting his own desire onto the straight man. No, I don't believe that. I think that he's grandiose. He's fucked up because he won't stop using drugs and shit and just he's fucked up. Okay, so have you ever used drugs and alcohol? Because certain drugs and alcohol put people into states where they do things that they wouldn't normally do. And that's not like somehow their actual self. Okay. I'm not talking about Sean, the 20-something-year-old. I'm talking about a different Sean. I don't think Brian's ever met Sean from Lithuania. That's a different Sean. Yeah, I'm talking about a different Sean that's an older man. I would say that's the typical type of dude that Brian is using to get drunk. That guy probably paid for the booze. Yeah. It doesn't mean he's gay because he pays for booze. Smoking up a cigarette. This one's 58 minutes already. Yeah. Sorry, I don't mean to be angry. It's just I don't know who you are. That's clearly not your name. And then some people become really mean, like I stated. So, anyways, eventually, whoever was around there is gonna, if I still care and God deems I should know, I'll find out. Um, like this is the other thing I mentioned about Colleen. I know people that know her. Okay, I know people that know her. So I think eventually she's gonna explain exactly what happened. That's what I think. I do. I think she's not with that boyfriend anymore, so she has no reason to deny anything that's happened. Right. Maybe even right from how she met Brian Buchanan when she started letting him stay at her house. Um, if she's ever had any sexual contact with him, because he told me he started hanging out with her after he took off from Faulkner Hospital. That's what hanging out means. It was in that context. She started hanging out with me. She's always gotta be with someone like she was bothering him. Okay. So if she's like, we were drinking and stuff, but I've never done anything with him, right? Just so you know, he's implying that you have. Okay. And it seems sort of kind of like all of it. If she's going, that's crazy. I'm sure she. How could you say that's fucking crazy to wonder what the fuck has happened? Right. When I ask a person specifically, have you fucked this person or have you fucked anybody or kissed anybody on the mouth or whatever since I met you? I expect you to tell me the fucking truth because, yeah, I don't care if we were married for 5 years. We're probably going to get a fucking divorce at that point. We're probably going to get a divorce at that point. Don't fucking lie to me and don't lie to me about sex. I have my reasons why, okay? Just don't fucking lie to me and don't lie to me about sex stuff. Just everyone should have that criteria. Everyone should have that criteria. I believed him for a certain amount of time because I didn't realize that he would actually cheat, if that makes sense. I do believe that he cheats now. I didn't believe that before. Like I do believe that he does. Yeah, and it's not exactly because of not having sex with me, because a lot of cheaters will have sex with you more. They still, like, I'm lucky in that way that we weren't doing that. I'm lucky because I could have HIV right now, and it makes it worse. It makes it worse. Yep, it definitely makes it worse when someone is like that sick, and it's just, why would you drag around with me for 2.5 years if that's what you actually fucking thought about me? Like Tuesday night, you go, on top of you clearly not sexually attracted to me. Like you're a scumbag that pretended you like you literally fucking married me because all you wanted to do was drink and shit and impress your friends. Like you're a little fucking scumbag. Yeah. Not just call on a phone and go, "It's your husband, I know I'm a scumbag." Really, dude? Is that really a husband? Is that really a husband? What would we say, really? That's just he's never gonna allow me to fucking talk, like I told you. He yells over me when I try to talk, and you go, "He never had to explain to you what happened?" Nope. That's Brian. That's why I'm fucking done with it. That's why I'm fucking done with it. Yep. It goes beyond running off and everything. He refuses to even fucking tell me what happened. It's that bad. It's that disgusting. Oh, yeah. Just nothing to do with this fucking person. I don't believe he doesn't remember shit. I think that's a fucking lie too, and I explained it, so if he's telling you that and you think he's actually telling you the truth, I pity you. I fucking pity you. I really do. I pity these people that still think he's your fucking friend when I just told you we've been together for 2.5 years and I was with him for 5 months, 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day for 5 months, and you still think he's a friend of yours? You're sick. And anybody around you should get the fuck away from you, is what I'm telling you. You're a friend of his, but for 5 months, I never fucking see you. He only talks to you when he takes the fuck off from me, and you still keep talking to him? Maybe that's what Tom means. Right, dude, because he's not your friend. He's not. If that guy was ever normal and even just a psychopath stabilized on fucking medication and didn't have the need to fucking abuse his wife and take off and smoke crack and drink, he'd never talk to you. He thinks he's better than fucking everybody. You seriously don't know him at all. Like, you don't know what he did in 2023? Did he talk to Colleen and Michael the whole time that he was in a fucking detox? In a halfway house? Why would you people ever talk to him again? It's some sickness within you too, where you still believe that other drug addicts are actually your friends and shit. Yeah, you do. Oh, okay. That's because you just said though that he's just using you. Oh my fucking god. Whoa. You just use sober people and your parents, but you care about each other? Whoa. I pity you. I pity you if you're a drug addict and you actually think someone cares about you. I really pity you. I watched two females go through this. I watched two females go through this when they decided they're gay, okay? And then you go, you're shocked that somehow that person would cheat on you and lie to you. She's a drug addict. I had to be told by another person, right? She's since way come out of this, okay? I had to be told by another person after knowing a person for, was it 2 years or a year? For a year that she was a drunk. Oh yeah. Someone had to tell me that she was a drunk. That's what I'm telling you. Brian, even from the hospital, denied that he was using drugs. If I You should have told me. Yep, you should have told me. You don't go, "Oh, she must know," or help him hide like I'm his mother. I'm his fucking wife, I'm not his mother, right? You should have told me. You should have went, "I just wanted to make sure that you knew that he's puffing on crack. Did you know that? That's not marijuana he's smoking." John from the stairwell is pretty much the only person who inadvertently told me that. Oh yeah, none of his friends go. I just want to make sure you know he's a crackhead, right? We're just wondering like what the fuck this is, right? Like he clearly hasn't told her the shit that he's doing because how the fuck is she still walking around with him? He clearly hasn't fucking told her. No shit, no shit. So anyway, John from the stairwell last year, okay, said, um, yeah, he goes out to the woods when he's smoking his drugs. He's the one who told me. And when I asked Ryan about last Thanksgiving, he literally told me he left with Colleen because she had booze. He still will not tell me he's a fucking crackhead. He still won't do it. After 2.5 years, he still won't tell me he's a fucking drug addict. I didn't know how cheap crack cocaine was. Yeah, I didn't know that. I just looked it up recently. So yeah, I mean, all the dude needs is $10 for crack cocaine. So he's definitely a drug addict. When he showed up at South Station in May, because he wanted money and he said it was for pot, but yet I can't go with him to buy pot because he's already on the train and stuff. Because he's a crackhead. He's definitely a crackhead. Um, I think that's the first time I've seen him acting like that since I first met him, like the first day that we were going out and he was all over the place those 3 days and shit. Yeah, I think that's the first day I've seen him like that was in May, where he was, like, walking real weird with his arms and legs straight, and he was yelling and yelling and yelling at me. Yeah, because obviously he typically makes up an excuse to take the fuck off, and then he's clearly just getting high on crack out of his fucking head, obviously. And that's why he sends weird, whacked out texts for a while, and then it's nothing. And then, oh, he's in the stairwell drinking, and he omits the part where he's at Harvard and he's beating up with James and Lorraine and he's smoking fucking crack. Right. He might be giving them Adderall, but he might be getting crack cocaine from them, or he's just getting money from them to buy crack cocaine, not to buy booze. Right. That's when things don't make any sense. Like he's giving Mike with the spiky here, Adderall for money, so that Mike won't smoke crack. So how do you know him? Because you're crackheads. That's how you know him. That's how you know him because you're crackheads. He needs your Adderall so that he won't smoke crack. That's what you told. That's what he said, and that's what you said when I met him. And then he'll send me a text message saying, "I don't sell my Adderall, you lying bitch," and all this stuff. Okay. Nobody else was in the park that day for that conversation. I just made it up. That never happened. You can't remember 2023. That's what you told me, so you wouldn't know that now, would you? I'm sorry, that was 2024, not 2023. Scratch that one. Yeah. But nobody else was there? Nobody else was there? What if Mike said, "Yeah, dude, that is what I said." And then you gave me Adderall and I gave you 75 bucks and you spent it in one fucking night. You're telling her you spent that money on booze and you went to a dance party and bought pizza? Did you pay for sex? Did you pay for sex? He told me he pays for sex when I first met him. That's what he told me. Did he forget telling me that? Okay. So you're a crackhead and you're disgusting and you like prostitutes, okay, that are not males. You're not paying males for sex, you're paying females for sex. Oh, wow, yeah, what time is it? 5. She's got to be coming back soon. I got to figure out about dinner. I know, here, just go, please, God, don't say another person's coming over here. Well, that happened last night, but then the person didn't actually come. Because it's always right when I'm about to eat my fucking food, that's why. Like, it's not my place, so I don't have any say in any of it, and it's just yeah, you go anyway, I probably should think about starting on one of my meals and sticking it in the oven. Earlier in my head, I went, "If she's gonna come over here tonight, I probably should just have peanuts and figs, and then it will be, like, late." A person can only stay at someone else's place so long. Like, last night, at first, in my head, I screamed in my head a little bit when she said she was coming over because she just spent 13 hours with them. And I was there for 4 or 5 hours of it, 4, 5, 6 hours of it. So I went, it's not a person I dislike either, but that's way too much time with the person, right? Some people just will tell you the same thing over and over again. So yeah, the person is very nice, but you just go, there's definitely something going on where it's just a constant flow of talking and it's the same thing over and over again, right? So anyway, um, she didn't end up coming over. Yeah, she didn't actually end up coming over, but I think she's with her now. I don't think well, I got the other phone in the box, but I'm getting all my stuff to yeah, I'm getting all my stuff to the other phone too. It's Gmail, it's Google. Right, I can use a laptop, I can use different phones. I'm gonna go print out some stuff. Really, are you gonna access your contacts again and start calling people that you told you don't talk to anymore? Right. I said that was the new thing when I got the phone. You went, it doesn't even matter if it's a government phone or not, by the way, it's Google. Okay, so you don't have Steve's number anymore because it's a different phone. Okay. And you don't talk to anybody but Mary on Facebook. But when Mary was banned from Facebook for like 6 to 8 months, you kept two Facebook pages. Okay. And then why do you have two Facebook pages? And then as soon as you log into one of them, all of a sudden you go into one of these episodes. You've done it twice. So you were here once and you turned on wrestling to start a fight, and then you completely flipped out and threatened to fucking smash my face in and stuff, and you were told to leave because you're mentally insane. Then another time you said, "Oh, I just," you said something about getting into a Facebook, and I go, "I thought you told me you couldn't get into that Facebook." And he said, "Yeah, I usually can't. They just let me into it." Because you're a fucking liar. Why do you have two Facebook pages? And why did you refuse to add your fucking wife as a friend to your Facebook pages? Why? Why did you do that? If your wife is so fucking insane, dude, Brian Buchanan, if your wife and friends and people that think that they're family members of his, if your wife is so fucking insane, dude, okay, then fucking divorce her. Stay the fuck away from her. That's not why you did it. Because you're an abusive fucking asshole. That's why you did it. You're an abusive fucking asshole. That's why you did it. I don't know if there's someone on that page that you don't want them to know that you're quote unquote back with me. You never went away from me. You live in a fucking delusion yourselves. Anyways, yeah, you just go, how is she not a friend on your fucking page? Why does it just say married and doesn't say your fucking name? But yet there you are married in a photo of the two of you together. That's completely fucked up, dude. And that shit's been going on. It's got to be close to a year now. That shit's been going on. Is that supposed to be Alicia and you? Why do you have a Facebook page at all when she can't even use fucking Facebook? Because you don't talk to anyone but your wife on Facebook? Who's your fucking wife? No, he didn't say his wife. He said, "You're the only one I talk to on Facebook." You're a fucking liar. September 2024, a month after fucking marrying me. Oh, yeah, I'm getting these smartwatches so we can talk to each other, okay? And then I'm gonna fucking abuse the fuck out of you and then steal your fucking money out of your purse to go smoke crack. And then I'm gonna actually show my face in fucking Quincy and make up some bunch of bullshit so that Linda and Jerry actually feel bad for you and don't beat the fuck out of you at that point, okay? And then something Mary did, and it's a confusion and blah blah blah, and I'm mentally ill and I know what I'm doing. I'm too fucked up for a relationship. It's all a fucking act, okay? And then when Mary comes to get you, okay, because you refuse to fucking talk to her a month after marrying me, okay? Oh, I made my first call from my watch to Plymouth to the ex. It's the only number that I knew by heart. After telling me repeatedly he knows Denise's phone number by heart. Okay? So the dude is a psychopath who likes to smoke crack. Okay? I don't think he likes anybody. I don't think he likes anybody. I don't think he likes whores he pays to blow him. I don't think he likes anybody, honestly. Like you need to learn about psychopaths. There's all kinds of documentaries. Like anybody that serves his purpose. Like, I don't think he likes anybody. He told me that Mike guy is schizophrenic. He's not a crackhead. He's schizophrenic. Does he have medication? Are you manufacturing crack cocaine from his medication? Because where the fuck are you getting crack cocaine from? Who's giving it to you? Where are you getting it from? Yeah, just know that I'm sure he tells me things about you that you don't want me to know because you know what I do. Where are you getting the crack cocaine from? It's not about the cops, no. Nope. Okay, so say that you told somebody something you weren't supposed to tell them. Could that be why someone hit you in the head with a hammer? Like, did you tell somebody something you weren't supposed to tell people? Anything. Anything. I have no idea. No, I don't secretly know, but like anything. Did you tell people where somebody was? Did you say that someone was giving you drugs? Did you like squeal on another cheater or drug user because you told people who you were with when you were doing something? That's the type of shit that gets people fucking beaten up. And of course, they're not going to tell the cops why they're getting beaten. I would check Colleen for where people are getting crack cocaine from. Okay. Because she was all over Karen's son who had a serious crack cocaine problem. Why the hell would he talk to anybody like that? Please. To some respects, I'm glad he's in jail. I would check her if you really wanted to find out where the fucking crack cocaine is coming from, not she had booze. I know you go, you would rather have yourself dragged all over the internet than to just go, can you just tell her that it's crack cocaine? Can you just tell her that? I mean, this is a fucking madness. I would never go near that dude. He's disgusting. She just doesn't see it. She doesn't know what the fuck this guy does when he's not in her presence. I know you would think a person would go, can you just tell her, like, I don't know what he told you about sex. Yeah, just, right. It's probably true that he was trying to have sex with her because he was probably high as a fucking kite. Yeah, and watch out because when he's done having sex with you, he's gonna punch you in the face just like Charmaine and claim he doesn't remember. Because when people are out of their mind high and drunk, they do shit. And then we'll never know if they remember or not. That's why you have to decide whether you're gonna put up with it or just stay the fuck away from the person permanently. At this point, I don't think he forgets things. I think he's lying. Yes. 2023, he actually told me this is what he tells me after fucking marrying me. You just go, he tells me that he doesn't remember 2023, Jerry. This is what he's telling me after he marries me. You have to think about how insane this fucking person is. Okay. He doesn't remember 2023 when that's all the happy memories I had with him. And he knows that. And that's the "You Make Me Wanna Live Again, Thank You," and "Corn Throw," and all of that stuff is all from 2023. He completely goes like this to all of that and throws it in the fucking toilet right in front of me after marrying me. I don't remember that. Um, I was out of my head, and that was a terrible time because I wasn't on my medication and shit. What the fuck? How are we sitting together then? How are we sitting together then? How do you even know me if you don't remember 2023? So you're fucking lying and you're that sick. You're that sick and abusive. How do you even know me if you don't remember 2023? Why would you even talk to me at the library in 2024 if you don't fucking remember 2023? He asked Jerry to help him get back with me. That is what happened when Shane went to the hospital, and Jerry didn't know how sick this fucking dude was, and neither did I. Right? Because the day before it was, I'm too fucked up for a relationship, and that excuses sexual assault in Plymouth and and a fucking engagement ring and pretending and your family and friends helping you pretend and fucking hide, and the cops clearly helped you, um, that you're dead. Also, I was still on probation, pretrial probation for assault and battery. So how would I just pummel a fucking dude? Which is what should have happened when I found out he was still living, and then finding out what he's doing. I should have just said, "Can I talk to you outside?" Okay, like at the library that day when he was hanging, using Shane for a hotel room and drinking with the person who's dying from cirrhosis of the liver and jaundice. Okay, he decided that he wanted to try to get back with me when that guy went to a hospital and Brian couldn't stay in his hotel room anymore that the Salvation Army was paying for. Not he wanted to be back with me. So, um, right, in hindsight, I see it as it is now, believe me. So you go, "Can I talk to you outside?" And then I just fucking beat the shit out of him, which I'm sure I could have. And then that would have been the end of it for me with Brian Buchanan, for sure. Right? So, in a sense, Almighty God sort of allowed all this for some reason, so that you just go, how are you people helping this person repeatedly do this to this woman and probably other people? How are you doing that? You're so sick. Does that make sense now? Right? Because you go, what? He's living? Oh, yeah. He's alive? I would have just myself fucking beat the fuck out of him. I really would have. I myself would have beat the fuck out of him. And you have to remember, my brother was passed away. He was dead. That's the only reason I came back to Quincy was because my brother died, and I was forced homeless because we were living in a rental house. My mother went to my sister's, and I ended up street homeless again. Okay, so you just go. I didn't know that he saw me online. He told me that afterwards. Okay. I didn't know he was hanging around with Colleen, he told me that afterwards, okay, right. He still never tells me that he's a crackhead. He still never tells me that. Even to this very day, he doesn't tell me that. Just so that you know, okay? So, yeah, that's fucking gross, right? I think the thing about the prostitutes and shit, right, that's I think he's still somewhat lying about that. He's clearly engaging in sex acts and shit when he's doing this stuff. He's getting high, he's engaging in sex acts, he's probably fucking whores and stuff, and you just go, never again. What would we talk about, really? I think we talk about you finally admitting what the fuck you've been doing when you take off to everyone. Yeah. I think that's what we would talk about, really. Also, what's on the porn in the public bathroom? That's still never been answered since he took off at the end of April, and then reported to me all the shit, but still not saying he was smoking fucking crack, still not saying that. Obviously, that's what he was doing. I knew it was weird, like, no person that's a drunk abuses the fuck out of you and takes off to drink alcohol. No person does that. I'm sorry, they don't. They do not. Those are drug addicts. Those are not no drunk does that. No, no, talk to people that are alcoholics. No drunk does that. It's just something about drug addiction. So, could you imagine being with someone for 2.5 years and still refusing to admit that you're a fucking drug addict? You'll have a battle war fight over fucking marijuana, which I'm never going out with the person who uses marijuana, just know that. Nope. I'm never going near a person who uses fucking drugs. Even if you're on psych meds. Nope. That's your medication. What's your psych med? Adderall? Xanax? Fuck away from me. Yeah, just seriously the fuck away from me. Alright, I gotta smoke, so I'm gonna shut this off. Gives me something to listen to. I have an hour and a half to listen to. I don't think I finished the other one either. Well, I can't be ignoring you because you didn't say anything else after that. It's someone who knows about Sean from Lithuania. I'm not talking about Sean from Lithuania. Yeah, different Sean. That's a common name. And I'm not talking about Sean from Foxborough either. That's disgusting. Yeah, I'm not talking about. Just be glad he doesn't live in Foxborough anymore, people. I think I described him already. That's not someone you want living in Foxborough, right? Just let him go, stay at a shelter in Boston and Quincy and go into an SRO in fucking Dorchester or something. You don't want him in Foxborough. Because, like I told you, he is meeting random people and just going out and drinking and partying, and he walks around with his pants falling down. So I'm sure people probably know who I'm talking about, right? He probably has family out here that won't let him live with them, and you shouldn't. Like he immediately hooked up with a drug addict in the shelter in Quincy that day. The first day he was there, and then they both took off to drink and sleep in a friggin' stairwell. You don't want that living with you. You really don't. That's how people end up getting kicked out of housing and getting evicted and shit. You don't want that near you. No. Nope. And I explained it. When you realize that you literally cannot have a person, you can't have your boyfriend or your spouse in your housing, you have to get away from them. Just don't even stay with them anymore. I know it's hard. It is. Maybe God will have you go through a thing like I did and you'll know to just get away from them because you won't accept that they're using you. You just won't accept it. Right. When someone goes, you can have housing if you get rid of Mary, and the person almost immediately gets rid of Mary, he's just using Mary. That's all it took. That's not even pussy or crack cocaine. That's all it took is we'll give you an apartment if you get rid of her, and he got rid of me. Oh yeah. A one-bedroom apartment with a caretaker? Maybe he thought that chick was gonna blow him. Maybe she will. Some of these people are sick. I don't know what the fuck that was. I don't know who Ben referred Brian to that has a private conversation on a phone with like that. It's like this. You people should know where he is. Brian told me that hospital was gonna call Ben. That hospital's gonna call Ben, but they're not gonna call your fucking wife. They're not gonna call your next of kin, but they're gonna call Ben, the social worker. Ben, who calls your wife. See how much sense that fucking makes. Anyways.